guess, quelled a lot of the concerns.
Did it bring you back in line?
It actually did. I mean,
Okay.
the one that stands out to me is the first blood round conversion.
Expand on that a little bit.
One of the biggest criticisms we've had with Liquid is that kind of pivot in the mid round, right? When they have to kind of reset, take stock of things, and go, what's next, right? What do we do next? And the interesting thing for Zeta to start on the defense, whether or not they're actually going to lean on any of this kind of, you know, these proactive set plays and giving Liquid the opportunity to find those openings.
I kind of want them to bring the game to Liquid though, and bear in mind Zeta have now had time to pause for thought as well. They had a brutal schedule, back-to-back games, hard to hit that preparation level on this. Now they do at least have, you know, a little bit of time coming into this matchup to try and look at Liquid, but never particularly easy to prep for either.
No, because there is always that possibility that, I mean, Liquid love throwing a spanner in the works.
Oh yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I mean, this is one that at least I think Liquid are attempting to find themselves back in a comfort zone, which is really important. And that was highlighted in the interview as well. It's kind of, yeah, when we can play our own game, that's when we feel as if, you know, a little more composed.
Yes, I think we're seeing that in droves at the moment, but as we can see, the timer is almost ready to go, so we can jump into the game and really get into the meat of things here, because both of these teams have so much on the line and so much to show, and Soulcast has to be such a proponent of that. I've looked at the way we've seen other Neons approach this and how impactful it can be. I need a slice of that right here, but on the other side, of course, Zeta fighting for just hearts and minds, it feels like, at the moment, but already, speaking of proactive, they're going walkabouts.
We'll be spotted by the trap here, but keep your eyes on Laz. He's got the shorty tucked up in tower. He does have the TP back towards spawn, so...
Oh, Link.
That Gerald free card, but Link actually going to challenge this 3-swing onto him and 0 to find it.
Yeah, Nevera then put in almost an unwinnable scenario. Scream going to try and pick up the mantle, but nothing's hitting. It's all going astray. Zeta going to clean up the first 2 and leave it down to the 3. Now patience pays dividends for Laz. Waited and baits them in. Oh, it's gorgeous from Laz. Leading by example. There's Soulcast now. A 1v5. And he is red. The book's wide open. That position is getting you nothing. And time to try and dip away, but hey, Laz is filling that gap already.
Not much for him left to do here. Well, actually, well, considering the orb here, but again, it's highly unlikely where the spike is. He's going to be able to make this feasible. Down to 18 HP already. Matter of time. Won't even find a consolation.
Clean
Prime gaming, flawless, opened up by Zeta. And we talked about this. It's, I mean, exactly what we're talking about. Being proactive here in the pistol round. Liquid starting a little slow and leaving the back door open here. Again, as soon as this trap identifies the flank coming through, it's only Link to challenge, which is kind of odd to see. I mean, Laz is feeling no pressure. No. It's not even like, I find a kill, I wait for the second. It's absolutely fine.
So well prepared for that. And mental, you know, when you talk about the mental game of this as well for Zeta, that's a lovely start. Flawless beginning. Back away. A couple more seconds until we get there, but purchase-wise, it looks a whole lot like a Shiko coming out from Liquid, so not too much to be worried about. The Bulldogs, the Spectres, everything on the other side, and 10, of course, with what looks like a Frenzy for now. So, see if Liquid get a little, I don't know, different with it. They've got a plan in mind, do some chip damage. There's a little bit of, I guess, unconfirmed damage achieved, but Laz is there to keep this well in hand. Sugar Zero doesn't need to overextend. They can just work this out quite comfortably, and you can see the pinch coming in as well. Zeta taking no chances on this.
Proactive once again. I mean, not really respecting the risk of this Shiko round from Liquid. I mean, Link and Nevera to try and find something else in this round, but it's just spam comes through. Link already down to 65 HP. I mean, if they can find a kill or 2 and the plant, it's not the end of the world. Slow rotation coming through from Zeta, so they're going to wait for everybody to regroup.
Look, if Nevera's standing, I will always give it a second of pause for thought, right? This guy can be a difference maker, but again, with good spacing, good trading, Zeta should not have an issue here. Should is always the main word, but then Link finds 2, and then suddenly there are problems as Nevera still stands, gets found by Crow. But that was down to the wire, and now you can see the potential threat in this matchup, the danger some of these players just embody.
I mean, it's almost a catastrophe when you look at it from Zeta's standpoint. I think Nevera even tried to hit that TP. We just see it blink to the other side of main, but unfortunate there. I mean, they made it costly. Very costly.
Swing. Beautiful from Link.
Do you know, I was looking at it as well, there was only one dot next to Nevera's headhunt, and I was like, well, he's got to land the one shot that matters, right?
Yeah, so looks as though those issues once again have been resolved. Hopefully, no more problems. No more problems. Smooth sailing from now on, but we wanted to look at the purchase mic, and it's looking dreary.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to try and ride this out as best they can. Soulcast again. Really front man for Liquid towards B side at least, but Scream here trying to plant the seed of doubt for Zeta, and it's the same setup as the pistol actually. It's 4 towards 8. Just Laz to hold down B side. Does have his utility, once again has his TP pretty deep in spawn. And this early probe from Liquid, I mean, it's not going to change. This is the game plan from the get-go here, so I don't think they're going to pull a rotation at all. Here, if Laz is able to find another freebie with the shorty. Now, whether or not Zeta on the other side of the map do drift out, and when that comes. It's already time ticking away.
I was going to say, it's hitting that 50-second marker if you've had no contact at this point, surely, and you can see it. They are hitting those rotations now. Laz probably calling for support, but Scream so aware. Hits the punish on the rotation, taking down Sugar Zero, but bear in mind the weaponry they're working with. You've got odds and ends of excluding that Bulldog, but 10's still going to find value for it. Punishing Scream, and now the hit has to come in no matter which way you cut it. A slowdown on the approach for a second. Yampi trying to speed up the pace, but Laz still holds his ground. Zeta not going down without a fight, and welcome to the team that can make the unthinkable possible as 10 is chipping away at Link, and the disaster starts to strike at 10. He's hunting him down. He wants blood, and I think he might just get it, but sadly it's his own, as Link will hold, but it's 13 seconds. This round's cooked.
10 seconds
Again,
left.
absolutely disastrous. Even with Scream finding that first blood, that's actually on the creep walk down. At this point, I mean, they can throw a couple. Yeah, this is a big upgrade already, so I'm absolutely fine with that, trying to remove the weapon from Link, but Zeta will find their third here, Lauren. Absolute disaster for Liquid. Like I said, I don't necessarily think they've done anything wrong here. This is a little bit of an oversight here. The Scream's open to this angle, and 10 just punishes him for it.
And 10 just threading the needle so perfectly this round. So good to witness.
It's so disjointed. You can see as soon as that utility dump comes through, the smokes are down. Soulcast is throwing his wall up, and they get so close, and then they kind of just sit there thinking,
oh,
well, what's next?
Yeah, where's the next step coming from?
It was so strange to watch.
Yeah. But this is something, again, we look at with Liquid, and every now and then you'll see those glimpses of moments you're like, ooh, that didn't look great. But then they'll remind you exactly as to why we always see them as the people who can cause these heartbreaking games. So again, for now, it does seem as though Zeta have controlled the pace. Ult popped from Nevera.
Actually, Laz on the other side as well.
As well, he's got his too,
he's got the force up.
Okay.
Slow approach once again from Liquid. Not really digging too deep for this first blood.
I'm just looking at Zeta as defining the tempo so beautifully so far. These faster rounds with that high pressure coming down towards kind of A-hole, that trying to crunch consistently as soon as this buy comes out. You can see them just digging in deep. This is going to make Liquid sweat a little. Having to re-clear all of this space. Very limited information coming in towards us.
Obscuring vision.
Zero actually tucked inside, the only one there. 10 and Crow a little further afield. Like we're going to see this split come on to B. Again, no success thus far on the way in.
30 seconds left.
I'm actually going to miss Zero as well, but the push towards tower, so they're already addressing Laz's previous position. And find success elsewhere.
Yeah, but look how many players are ready to hold that cross. Sugar Zero is going to be such a monster if he gets away with it, right? It's like the spacing. Where's the trade? It's not there. Perfect work from Sugar Zero. So hyper aware of how to help out. No one fights alone in this side. And now Nevera has to do some heroics to do just anything at this point. That's not bad. 6 more seconds. Anything more he can find. As you can see Zeta, yo, they just tuck their heads down. They're having none of what he's trying to sell. Zeta just played that again beautifully.
And that's an important thing. As soon as the smokes come through there, they don't leave Zero out to dry. The swing comes through and they set up these ratty little spots here. I mean, Zero made that work perfectly. Again, I love that. I noted that Crow and 10 were playing a little deeper, but even before that contact comes through, they're swinging there. They're actually here to bait for Zero.
Yeah. And he didn't drop the ball for a second. Instantly on it, instantly there to be ready to trade or effectively take the round away from them. And again, for me, Liquid, I don't think I've been able to get too much information out of this yet. Again, we come back in finally with a buy on either side, which is pretty essential. And Scream, I assume, will be dependent on the ult this time around. But Laz going to opt for the ult.
Just really readjusted there. I thought he was just going to throw one in, but we'll hold for the time being. Again, slow, very, very deep setup from Liquid. I mean, look at the paranoia. Look how deep they're sat towards both sides, bridge and outside A hall. They're anticipating, and this is the thing, if a couple of these rounds go like this, Zeta can flip the script. They can start playing a little quicker. That should hear that cloud burst, yeah, you can see.
Yeah, I want to see if the kind of pendulum swings of, I think it's Crow kind of coming back towards maybe that A site just after this little bit of contact, but for now he's still kind of lingering around towards B. Depp seems all too ready to back up Blaz. But we're seeing the
absolute faith in the setup there again, just with with Depp holding on to that snake bite there. It's total faith in. But Liquid are actually drifting back towards A main, stacked up as 5 now.
30
Again,
seconds
they got a couple
left.
of bits of utility to make their way through. Again, the trap and the gravity roll potential to really slow things down.
20 seconds and nothing can go wrong for them. They have to. Well, that's
No
not
margin
ideal.
for error here.
Yeah, already slowed down. 18 seconds, keep your eye on the time, the rotations are in. Crow's already over here, Lat's still uncontested. He's having to keep an eye on where he got that contact before, but 13 seconds now. Eyes towards the spike, it's not there. 10! Could have been dangerous, but no, it's a clean sweep. Zeta unmoved, unfazed!
Flawless.
And untarnished, it's 5-0. Liquid, wake up. Zeta are absolutely destroying them right now.
And like I said, it's the perfect response here. Like I said, Zeta are so comfortable in these setups that Liquid aren't creating any pressure
Where's the danger?
whatsoever in the early round. It's not forcing a rotation, it's not forcing out any utility. So by the time it comes to 20 seconds, like I said, there's no margin for error here. They have a poison orb to come through. If a snake bite goes in there, there's this trap on main, potential there for the gravity roll, even just a smoke.
Tomorrow. And obviously for Liquid, same cannot be said. They're going to be down to these kind of half buys, maybe hero rifles here and there. And I'm just not sold yet. And I'm all aboard the Liquid train when it looks good. Like, that's the thing. When it all looks good for Liquid, it's hard to not enjoy how they play, but it's been flat so far. We need to see that change. Soulcast, can you be the proponent to that? Something to engage us with here, as the hero rifle will be with Scream. But beyond that, 10 looks unfazed, unmoved. Unfussed. Stun comes in though, and look who's on the other side. Shorty ready with Sugar Zero, and it's nasty work. He ain't moving either. Why would he? Where's the trade? Where's the next bit of danger? There's none! This is so flat so far from Liquid. Naveri and Yampi, irrelevant to the outcome.
It might look cheesy, but this is the perfect way to counter any util that comes through. Again, that fault line doesn't do anything for a shorty. It literally does it. It's still an absolute freebie. And again, you can't really fault Scream in that scenario. There has to be something, an attempt made behind this investment, but Sugar Zero just...
Look, you can't be mad at it when you've got Link on your side. You know what I mean? Like, the Judge King has been running these sort of things for a while. Karma really hit him back at a bad time. But 6-0. I feel like I'm going to wake up in a moment's time, right? Like, this... Every time we cast games...
I hope Liquid do, to be honest.
Okay, this could be different. Laz now going to be at least challenged down early on. How long does he stick around here quietly? He's not moved. Now he's in trouble, though. Flashed up blind. Depp can't help him. Liquid already starting to really build into this one. But Depp's still holding the back, buying time. Precious time for rotations that you can see are on the way already. And Liquid looking for their step forward, but Zeta is slipping away from this. They've dipped.
Well, happy to give this up. The only one not here is Sugar Zero right now, but trade comes through. 10, Navera will find kills.
Spike
Finally comes through, but Soulcast out in no man's land here. The Rolling Thunder invested. Going to clear out, but actually a little early if you ask me. There's no real follow-up on that.
You can see the attempt at it almost. Laz stepping forward, but it was, as you said, a little bit out of sorts. And Link being forced out of the angle, but Scream going to keep him safe. Laz goes down, and now that's one avenue denied, and this is huge. Zeta now down to 3. Sugar Zero, Crow, and Depp have to identify this, but they're not being given a great deal, and it's time to go now. Depp going to stride towards the side, Scream still standing, Link still there. 1 gets removed, 2 gets removed, but Navera threads the needle, but only to receive the killing blow by Depp. This is a close defuse, but it should come through. And I've got to say it, Zeta are impressing me time and time again. This is 7-0. This seems just like a mad fantasy, some sort of fever dream that we're watching, but Liquid aren't waking up.
No, they absolutely aren't. And even with this round, you don't come away from this feeling confident in terms of building on the success. There's nothing really. I mean, Zeta are happy to give it up. Again, actually, I think this is the one in terms of the statistics. This is one of their worst maps for successful retakes. So Liquid come away from that. I mean, what's the play now? We hit A couple more times? I don't feel as if Liquid really have got much left to work with now. I mean, this is already 7-0 is, like I said, with the stack here in terms of the economy, Zeta are pretty comfortable for at least the next 3 rounds.
For Liquid, people say that, you know, some of your worst nightmares will happen with your eyes wide open. Sitting at a 0-7 is something of a nightmare at the moment. This just doesn't feel right. This is maybe that imposter syndrome starts to build and you question, how are we here? This was never meant to be this one-sided. It was never meant to be this sort of thing. When we talk about Cinderella stories, it's because it's, you know, that surprise result that's kind of enamored everyone, that you get behind the underdogs who surprise, but...
This could be interesting, though. Oh, Soulcast is going to burst into... I'm looking at these pings. Whether or not Soulcast is going to pop his ult and actually burst into spawn. Because Zeta, again, happy to give this up.
Let's see. Oh, Scream's heading through. Slowed down, though. Can't do anything with it. Again, Soulcast, how much impact can you have? 10's on the other side waiting. As soon as that door says... Well, at least Nevera's doing all right. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. At least they've got the spike down. We've got 4 standing, 2 rifles in hand. And 10's just bodying them. 10 is bodying them. He's literally a turret. This man's a machine. Yampy, Scream, Link. Gotta do something. I think Yampy just getting on the board now. First frag coming in at round 8. But at least the time's on the side, so they have the additional teammate standing almost. Link holding for this push. Lad's gonna find it regardless. Link goes down. Scream now has to back away, give up the space. Gets caught in the heels, completely sleeping. As Yampy has to be forced to fight. So many targets by the time. He's still trying to work on this one. How much can you do? Nothing. Zeta standing and delivering time and time again. 8-0 now.
It's getting a little difficult to watch, honestly, because again, there's an adjustment here in terms of the game plan from Liquid, but they get to this point where they're like, in the first half, it's difficult to really pull those sorts of play, and especially on the fly, kind of play that reactively. Yeah. Nevera going to bring the tour de force into this.
It's got to start now.
It has to.
Because Zeta are just so firmly in command of this game. We go back in. And it all just swings, in my mind, over towards Liquid. You have to determine this pace, fight back into this. You have to quell this confidence that's brewing Laz. Yeah, you're blinded. Does eventually decide to give that territory up.
Well, Laz, even after he gets blinded, he stays so long before TP.
All right. Okay, first step garnered. Okay, and it looks like the set piece gonna begin. We need to once again know, do they get any blood on the way in? This time they do. They find Sugar Zero. Laz still lingering around, waiting for any potential victim to make it through, but he's still holding a bit of territory here. Nevera finds 10. This is good work, finally, we're seeing from Liquid. Making that impact happen, putting this retake in such a...
planted.
You don't know what you did.
Yeah,
that's dangerous. And bear in mind, Deb just found Soulcast once again, just kind of in a bit of an awkward position, but this post plant's better. They've got numbers, they've got good crossfires, they should be able to hold this unless something can break it open. Laz could be that. Spots it, but doesn't quite get the sidestep out. Nevera with the punish. Trade not available for Crow, and there's those crossfires. Nice work from Liquid in the post plant. That is a little bit of course correction now.
A shred of hope left, but it cost them the orbital strike and the tour de force. Sugar Zero again. Just looking to get weird with it, man. Actually shuts down the flank as well. I'm not sure if 10 dealt with the trap initially, or I'd seen Nevera's HUD pop up saying one of the traps had identified one, but good adjustment there to pick it up. Let's see if that could be the momentum shift here for Liquid, if the fast approach feels a little more comfortable. Another variation to the defense, though, of Zeta. Stun gonna potentially slow things down here. Laz again posted up, though.
He's played this a couple of times, so I want to see how he approaches it now, if there's anything different, any layers to this. Because he knows the flash will come in. Well, it did before. Blink and you miss it, seconds away, but they still need to deal with him. There's the flash, there's the TP away.
Nevera just paused for a second. He was like, eh. Soulcast elsewhere. We'll try and pressure towards B as the rest of Liquid do start to lean this direction. But again, this stack on B hasn't been pressured just yet. They're going to have loads of utility to work with to slow this hit down. Ted's got that showstopper online as well.
See the concept that they have. It looks so wide open. Scream this time will be punished. Doesn't get away with finding Sugar Zero. It's Step on the other side. And there's the showstopper you're noting. Doesn't quite get it. The TP away.
Go get him.
Sends out the boombot. Gets ready towards tower correctly. So this is still so good. The re-aggress. Soulcast does get the trade eventually, but there's still 10. They have no idea he's still here. left unchecked and gets away with murder. Nevera and Link, what are you going to do about it? You have no step towards the site anymore. Trying to work their way and crack this open. Nevera, great work. Has to still do more. 14 seconds. There's so many players in the way. 11 now, Link. It's unthinkable. It's unimaginable. Zeta are looking incredible right now.
They're so willing to just kind of absorb these executes from Liquid. I mean, just the snake bite there, just on the underside of Dice, it's actually crazy to watch. So quickly they deal with Scream. So quickly they're able to split the entire setup of Liquid. And again, Sugar Zero, just feeling no pressure. He's allowed to just focus on one task, which is posting up with a shorty.
I love the instantaneous crossfires. They instantly say, you don't get a single fight against them. Like, yeah, Scream came in and...
Not a clean one.
No,
none of them are
an
clean, yeah.
instant trade on it. It's so brilliant to watch. Zeta just so willing to fight as a team. And again, Laz still going through the protocol. This time you can see the pace being picked up by Liquid to try and hit a punish on it. Now this time, though, Soulcast wins out, takes the space. Sight's theirs. Can they facilitate any more players to hit the cross? It looks like Scream's made it through as well. So 2 on site, 3 on the back lines almost. They're still working through by elbow. But Crow, no pixel to be noted. Nothing to be seen. Vision still just slightly taken away. Plant going to come down, and once again, we hit that post-plant 5v5.
Cosmic Divide, Viper's Pit to work with, lots of utility as well. Yampi stunned and blind. Laz and 10 will find kills immediately.
Nevera, though, look at this position. Does he time it right? Did the door get noted? It did. Laz has seen this. I don't know how much he can do anymore. No, that gets removed. Scream on the side, trying to do the dance. Knives out, nothing more to be seen. The Divide's up. They've got safe passage until Link says no. Molly. No passage anymore. Gonna pop down the Molly, try and buy the time. You can see it's on the money. And speaking of time, it's bought a little bit, but now the Divide's gonna drop down, and the grand reveal sprays in. There it is. Step out from Sugar Zero. Caught on the cross. Nevera, he's got it! Sprays in and just about keeps it safe. Team Liquid barely staying in this game.
Before the switch.
By the skin of their teeth. I mean, if they find the third, there's still hope.
Yeah.
On the second half here, but not an awful lot of success really to celebrate here for Liquid. I mean, Link's still doing God's work here. And again, the timing, the Molly just buys up so much here. Again, effectively then the Cosmic Divide.
Let's go through.
Actually, feeling a little tense in concept, to be honest.
You can hear it. I don't blame him. Link still, for me, is always the unsung hero of Liquid. He will always be the player who seems to... I just don't see him having a bad game, ever. It's always just kind of solid. For now, though, ult gets popped. So that's going to deny maybe this early intent from Liquid. Soulcast not going to have as much of an easy time to create that space on the site anymore.
It's so rough once again. This is after a comfortable round, at least on towards 8. The Viper's Pit to deal with now. Tour de Force as well.
He's reading this so well. Yep. You can see the intention, and Liquid have done this so often. Big punish, so good catch from Soulcast. First time we've really seen him find that untradeable first kill. And they're going to creep the site further. Yes, we still know the depth is on the site, but Nevera just going to power forward. Try and pretend he doesn't know what's on the other side of that green
back
wall.
Through Dish, though.
Right, he is.
There's no map control elsewhere for Liquid,
it's just this. Okay. Again, 10, even if he doesn't see players, that's actually a fair amount of information. If he just wants to hold that cross in the timing of this, he's cleared this. There's no one here. There is still Scream posted up, bear in mind. So Depp may hear this, notes that, but it's already been seen. 10 knows there's no one else really lingering around, so they're not going to maybe hit that rotation too early. There still should be 2 players on that B site here.
Sugar Zero being the most problematic. You see the pings coming through. 25 seconds left now. That's going to be the green light for Liquid.
Away we go. Sugar Zero hold it back, slides in, gets sent back. Sugar Zero, sweet as ever, gonna find 2, holds it, waits for that push inevitably through the smoke, but 13 seconds. Crow's got your cross. Gonna deny this again, and all that utility coming into play. And what a shot! Zeta are holding the line, and they hold the half 10-2.
I mean, what a clinic. Zeta literally just put Liquid in the bin that half.
Yes.
There was absolutely nothing they could do. And again, Sugar Zero. There's been so little pressure here that he can get weird. He can do these little ratty plays, sitting inside smokes, tucking in, challenging the...
To this scoreline, 10-2, and deservedly so. Zeta have outplayed them every step of the way.
Absolutely, and the problem being now, they have to deal with 10 on the defense.
Yes.
Somebody that's just able to find first bloods out of thin air.
He's having a game. He was having a big game on that first half as well. So we go back in, and Liquid, let's see what you got up the sleeve, because right now Zeta are large and in charge. Yampi gonna hear all of this.
Such a contrast already. Just the pistol round.
Straight away. such confidence. Nevera already tagged up. That pain shell could be dangerous. Going to force him away from the angle he wanted, but Yampi drops down, says hello, gets one, can't get two. Sugar Zero with a quick trade. Nevera just dives in. I don't know what's going on, but Soulcast does, luckily. Crow now being outdone, and Liquid holds.
A lifeline.
Yeah.
Liquid, they got to convert this, so even more so. See if Zeta are going to throw anything into this. Again, just look at the game plan's there immediately. Nice little bait as well here to tuck Scream into top site. Nevera kind of pulled out a little bit of util, a little bit of focus on himself, and set Scream up for success. But again, we've got to see. I mean, for me, it's Scream and Soulcast really the ones to go toe-to-toe with Zeta here on the defense.
Well, this is a nice chance, isn't it? Scream, say hello, say goodbye, Laz. Oh, Scream! What a shot, looks for more, gets more. Scream is just on a tear right now. What an absolute god of a round from him, just absolutely unleashing. Ah, that's not bad. Okay, stylistic way to do it. Very nice.
Oh, we need a couple more of those.
Yeah, just a couple more.
Yeah,
do that again.
Those.
Couple more of those. Whoop.
Enemy kill.
Good progress as well towards the Blade Storm, so he can maybe start. I even play for an Orbit early on if he wants to, but the prime gaming floor is on the back of Scream's 4K. One off the Blade Storm here.
I don't normally get that excited about, you know, killing people
Oh,
with pistols. That's quite nice.
They were
it's quite nice. Quite nice.
I'm out of here.
We'll actually see Yampi not the one with the Marshall in this round, but a couple of Spectres to offset this. And Liquid again looking to get proactive here. I mean, Soulcast.
Oh, Laz's position though. Oh, say hello.
Punished.
Beautiful work, Laz. Set the trap, so patient, and gets the pickup. 10 though. Has to respect the utility. Oh. Oh.
Okay, there's a little bit of Astra utility behind that, but Link dealt with
and look
for
at
free
Scream,
here. Scream.
This could still be pretty big. Oh, he's popped the ult. This is, yeah, it's messy. This is super messy. 3 more still standing for Zeta, and normally we talk about like doing damage in the bonus, but when you're at 10-4, you need a bit more than that. I kind of need to see, I don't know, better indicators. Nevera just letting off shots. Not really in love with this round right now, as Yampi still trying to hold. Do they spot the barrel? No, nothing noted. Slows down Sugar Zero, has to try and back away. Does do just that. Depp's got his back. It's a little bit of a stalemate for now, but this time they should be able to get that spike planted.
Depp actually comes down now, so expect them to tuck in for a little bit here and force Nevera and Yampi out into the open. It'll be Nevera to be found first. Yampi actually good for the trade.
Very good trade. Hard to clear the rest of them, but now gets the upgraded rifle. Sugar Zero. Oh no, the reload. The timing could not be worse. It's over. It's done with. It's 11 for Zeta.
Actually, a really good point to be made. Liquid almost needed that bonus, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Now they're on their buy round. Zeta, 11 rounds, knocking on the door of map point. Time for Scream as well on that Blade Storm pop.
Yeah, it was
and
just
you can understand it. You can see here, he has to burn his dash. Really unlucky by him. There could be something that could have swung that back in favor for Liquid, honestly. Especially with the freebie on the flank.
Nice! Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, go on.
Nevera operator online. This has to be it though.
Yeah,
they have to string together so many rounds. It's such a huge task.
And we know the amount of danger that Zeta can bring, even in those half buys, those kind of like lower end purchases. So for now, we wait with bated breath. Team Liquid probably feeling the pressure here. Nevera.
Zeta was baiting them in. They're like, yeah, you guys are the ones that have to make something happen here. We're happy to run the clock down now at this scoreline.
Okay, addressing Nevera's position. Going to force him away slightly. He's going to retake that space, though, and continue to hold.
Interesting setup towards A main, actually. Soulcast and Scream tucked up pretty deep here. And Scream going to take first contact and hopefully play in Soulcast. That's now... the angle just slips by Nevera.
Oh, but he's
going to hear that. He should hear that.
Yep, and he's unmoving. Nevera not going to miss that. Scream as well. The Brothers Grimm holding the line. Soulcast next up does well. Finds one, finds two, looks for the third, gets denied, but already this is a great round. Crow left on such minimal HP. Still fine Scream.
30 seconds left.
Fair enough. There it is. Eventually
Scream.
found by Link, just like...
Scream was
what?
absolutely baffled by that one.
Okay, 3 stand. So as long as they can still keep having decent purchases, it can happen, right?
You know, perfect play again. You noted this. Scream just baited Soulcast perfectly to find another 2 kills.
It's good bait, huh?
Feeling a little timid in comms today. Need a few more round 2s from Scream. That should get things fired up a little bit. You know, ultimate progress. Well, I mean, Soulcast got his online.
10. What are you up to, 10?
Watch out!
Okay, I want to see what happens with this. Has to respect a little bit of the utility on this side. 10 is closing the gap. Bucky to hand, and Soulcast, he gets traded.
Spike down.
That's a
A.
rifle now, potentially recoverable. Scream. Oh, the intuition from Depp to still check that. I guess he didn't see it. Gets punished. Scream waiting around. Spam comes in. And the rifle still did get recovered by Crow, so he's on the other side with that. A little bit more dangerous than maybe Liquid would like. Scream still not backing away, still trying to hold this line. He wants this space, he wants this place. There's 36 HP, he might have to now finally fall back, gets punished! That's another rifle lost!
Covering it.
Still unable to get it. You can see the Liquid are trying to deny that for now, but it is a 3v3. That is a recoverable weapon if they want to readdress that now, as Laz has been quietly building in the background.
He noted here, placing the TP.
Yeah, but he's got his ult now.
Yep. The force popped, and it should be 2 rifles on the other side. A drop. Surely not.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
Yampy actually still policing that weapon. Will punish Sugar Zero going for it.
How do they pull the player off the site? Link is going to be such a problem. Can Laz get a 1v1 on it? Yes, he can! Just misses, but he gets it on the second! And now a 2v2. Devera and Yampy up against Laz and Crow. Should be able to facilitate the cross. Spike going to go down. He's going to hold this line as long as he can. The flash comes in, blinded, stunned away. Spike going to go down, and Laz has to hold 2 shots to play with. And the cross, what can you do, Liquid? Can you make him get a little panicked about the back line, maybe?
They got the Rolling Thunder.
Oh my god, there's still so much danger in this side. Yampy trying to make Laz sweat. Forced to move forward now, and you can see that the Navarro is waiting on the other side! Perfect plan in execution, but there's still Crow. He's still standing, but the position's noted. They know where he is. Can he find a 1v1? He spots out one, and now the time in the crunch. He knows it's coming in. 13 HP is all he's got to play with. Too many targets. And too little time. Team Liquid dig in their heels and get another on the board.
Thank God they stay composed there. As when they split, and I think they split seeing that the Rolling Thunder is available, they want to try and mitigate as much of that risk as possible. And again, just the placement of utility from Yampy, crucial to force Laz off. He was posted up, and I mean, if he finds a kill there in spawn, it slows the second player swinging. There's absolutely 0 trade possibility there. They cling to life, Lauren.
But again, for Zeta, that purchase was so minimal. It was like a Bucky, a Frenzy, odds and ends. That's the danger that they possess, and we've seen it so clearly now. But again, Liquid are doing what they need. By hook or by crook, they're doing it. And that's going to deny the early start they wanted. Early exchange of utility in space. So I guess can't do much with that now. Has to respect it as 10 tries to take back what they just lost.
Nobody really gains anything. I mean, Zeta's reactionary Rolling Thunder to counter Scream and 10, going to stare off the other side of this wall. The door, sorry. But Yampy and Soulcast still holding pretty close as well. Zeta a pause for thought. You see, they're actually going to flash through here.
Turns it.
Oh. The timing just off the screen, but rightly so. Rightly so, not to swing through that.
Yep. Absolutely correct call. You can see the firing squad on the other side as 10 now going to power forward, take some more space away, force Scream to show his hand a little. He's actually going to fill that gap quickly. Could have potentially called them out, but the utility is going to deny any quick springboard off the back. So again, 2 of the players going to fall towards site. Soulcast and Scream. Soulcast with a beheading, going to catch out 10. And now they lost the tip of the spear. Scream going to be forced to fight. Pull him in. Doesn't matter, he's still got your number. Scream holding really well, want to be proactive in this fight. He's got Soulcast by his side. And Soulcast going to shut down any danger that was coming through there. 11-7.
Great response from Zeta as well. As soon as the swing doesn't come on the back of the breach flash and there's no peek on the other side of A main, I think they're almost anticipating that it might be a bait, right?
Yep.
Good hold from Liquid nonetheless, and
30 seconds.
again, I got to say, the important thing being a couple of these players starting to hit their shots, starting to win out on some of these aim duels, which, I mean, at the most basic level just wasn't happening in the first half. It looked dreadful.
At one point, I think Soulcast was 0 to 7, and now he's sat on what, 11 to 15. He has jumped the board
Absolutely.
massively. Huge
Scream as
impact.
well. Scream had a very quiet first half.
Yes, he did. Yes. So even just that little bit of a swing up in performance has made a massive difference to this, because Soulcast has been having impact in these last couple of rounds. So good to see him finding that streak of form coming through here. Now for Zeta, time to maybe hit the brakes. You had a lot of rounds to play with. You kind of freestyled it out a little bit. It's great. Did what you could. Didn't work out well enough to get the rounds converted on the board. However, you still have a little bit of time to play with, but the money has been slowed down here. So it's time to maybe hit the brakes, discuss what you want to do going forward.
I don't think there's a massive adjustment required for Liquid at all. I mean, Josh was saying how comfortable they looked at, was it, yeah, 100% win rate on defense, right? We're already kind of leaning towards that kind of comfort once again here. Zeta, I almost feel like they're falling victim to what happened with Liquid in the first half. There's not an awful lot of pressure in the early round. Liquid aren't kind of scrambling for responses or trying to find a rotation. We're going to see Zeta to be the ones to really switch things up here. Shouldn't be this round. It's going to be the same Bucky play into Dish, it looks like, and whether or not Soulcast is going to challenge this once again. You're going to see the utility being invested on the minimap here, so they do want to try and find this first blood once again.
Seemingly aware this time. Does he go for the similar challenge? No. Going to actually sit back, respect the work that happened last time. You don't want to give that away.
I'm out of here.
Like, Scream was a little split last time. Soulcast did get isolated fairly easily, so it's good to see Soulcast, being disciplined in this scenario.
Zeta have won the kind of early exchange, I guess, of taking Dish away, if you're going to look at it as like a protocol list, but you're still waiting on the next layer to that, which potentially allows coming in. Ten's just, you talked about a lack of burst, well, Ten's showed you can find it, and
And it's a spike.
Oh, sometimes things go wrong, but they actually are on the site. So they can recover the spike, they can get the plant down, and they can start doing a bit of damage. Now, Navarro's kept in the back of his mind, he knew that Laz was going to be lurking, and it's the right call to be making. So can the three of them do anything from the site? That's going to be the harder part here, is trying to make any damage come through. Yeah, Dap's still alive, but he's got to have a lot more of that where that just came from. And Sugar Zero dives in, the headhunter! Oh, Sugar Zero, what a way to do it! And Dap still stands, has to hit the shot, and it's Soulcast on the other side, a man who's had an up and down performance! And now he's down, Dap puts him in the depths, and Zeta make it to 12.
Wow. That's the one that they close out with an absolute calamity on the way in.
Look at this start. Like, 10 took the space, I guess, like out of everything. Oh.
It's so tough as well.
Yep.
The set piece is so clean, and the Cosmic Divide, again, just creates this tunnel for 10 to get onto top side. But Depp goes huge for Zeta here. Wow. Zeta find map point. Finally. Liquid out of lifelines
chills, man.
now.
I'm
Out of
getting
lifelines.
chills at this. And for Liquid, that's a little underwhelming. And a bullet to the back of the head. 10 just takes out Soulcast. Doesn't care for it. Doesn't like what he's up to. Just doesn't accept what Liquid are trying to sell.
Showstopper coming here as well. 10 available. That's still tucked in. Let's link this time to try and counter some of this B main control, but we'll give it up for the time being. Everybody from Liquid here, by the way, as soon as Soulcast fell. Zeta should have a good idea on the back of what utility they've seen as well.
And there's the space taker. Yeah, gonna force them away, they have to respect it. Uh-oh, Pixel noted, sends it, doesn't find it. Somehow Scream stays alive, 45 seconds now, Laz sprays it wildly, gets one link down. This could be it. Map 1 on the line here. Navarro and Yampi closed it out before, but it doesn't look like they're gonna do it this time. Yampi, a 1v5. Spike down against him, he gets the first. But Zeta, these crossfires have been rock solid. How does he try and break through this? Laz to the left, Depp to the right, and it's done. Zeta closed down map. Hadn't seen map 1 or the run to this point. I'd say quite firmly, Liquid not worried. However, seeing how we've gotten here, I am a little worried.
I mean, you got to address the elephant in the room, and that is always the mental for Liquid. Dropping a map 1, I mean, thank God they started to formulate, formulate some kind of comeback in the second half of that first map. But coming into this, I mean, it's a big positive to start on the attack here. Zeta's defensive stats are nothing to be desired on Haven.
Yeah, it's traditionally not a good map. Just putting it that way. We have to see if there's a difference here. Right now, Navarra denies any solid beginning. Lovely shots from him. Scream by his side. The brothers in action. Looking like they want to take that space. And there are 2 players to try and stop them. A bit of an open fight, and it's not gone well for Crow.
Here.
There's now Sugar Zero and Laz just going to have to be on the receiving end of this.
Actually, look to pull away from C here. Yampy going to try and creep onto B. Will be noted by the alarm bot. Again, with Sugar Zero drifting towards sewers, they're going to need a miracle here. Try and find something. Laz actually going to the backstab onto...
Hold on. Sugar Zero can get away as well. They can't close that gap fast enough. They've brought this back to, what, a 2v3. Blinded, but still going to be able to get towards the back of sight and tuck himself away for a second. They've lost track of him for now. Spots him out, doesn't eat the flash. Has a 1v1. There's no one to trade that. Link gets punished. A quick pickup from Soulcast. But the danger started to mount, but Liquid grasp on to round 1.
Sugar Zero almost finds the second from sewers there as well. There's one player kind of out of action with Soulcast in the Trailblazer, so a lucky escape, if anything, there. The backstab time onto Yampy as well. That's the way it's opened up.
Yep,
so crispy with it. Great repeat here from Link as well to avoid the fault line and actually try and bail out. And they do close it out. Again, it almost spiraled out of control with them in terms of the timing there, especially on the mid pick.
Now, Fudge coming back in is only a frenzy for depth. Nothing much else. So look for this being hopefully clean for Liquid. We want to see as many alive as possible. Looking a little shaky at the start, but they can calm their nerves, take their time, and get a feel out for the game, because it felt like they just weren't dictating the pace for a lot of map 1. So map 2 is now their greatest opportunity to revive a little bit of that faith in each other.
And cautious here, and Zeta already now, after a little bit of an exchange towards C, will lean towards a 5-man stack on A. See if Liquid can feel this out, or just going to try and force their way onto B, which will be wide open. No utility here to note it on the way in, but from sewers they should catch some of these audio cues. With the power of the way being sent through as well, yeah, they should know. As the smoke comes up, Yampy should hear it actually, so they know past this trap already. Will be there to greet Depp.
There is follow-up to this for 4 players. It's farming time. Yampy just wanted to go free farm on this one. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome though. Doesn't want to overcook it. Back around. Yeah, lovely stuff. No worries for Yampy. Beautiful round. Comfy stuff. Liquid stabilize a little here. Round 2 was clean. Exactly what we needed to see for them.
So it's interesting to see such a contrast here where these slow rounds look so uncomfortable for Liquid here, and it's just well handled. In this regard, we're not Zeta are going to look to get as proactive as they did on Fracture. Particularly here in the buy round, I'm looking towards some of this A lobby control. They might fight for it. Actually, only Sugar Zero over that side. It's actually 3 players towards C site. Laz to hold down the fort in mid. As you can see with the pings, Liquid might be leading into this now.
This could be the right read from Zeta. Smoke goes in, but they don't instantaneously work off the back. They're slow building towards garage. Flash comes through. Tommy gets handled. But no full commitment just yet. It's kind of clearing that early contact utility. Draws out a little themselves. They'll know the 10's around. I just don't know if they'll know that there's so much behind that as well.
We noted the difference as well in terms of utility being drawn out. It just wasn't happening on Fracture, so
yeah,
really these are big positives for me. Another first blood as well, Laz will fall, so they do lose this utility. Crow actually went to swing on that.
Oh, Scream's having a bit of a weird one here. Does actually make it towards the top of the site, but what on earth? Crow finally gets him, eats the flash, doesn't turn it well enough. Yampy closes in, gets pretty much B-side to themselves, excluding Depp, who's still trying to linger around. He's held that space. The Sugar Zero did push up over towards A-Long, so he's got faith in that, but now there has to deal with the traps put down. So Liquid haven't got that much room to work with. Depp's still in this. They still have presence. The lean from 10 isn't far off either. Yeah, he's right there by the side. I don't know if they're still going to clear sight so diligently. They are going to give it a good attempt. Yampy, good danger. Good amount of pressure. They're dealing with these rifles, and Nevera, so hyper-aware of a player behind him, is stuck around, lingered long enough just to do enough, but actually gets outdone.
Finds the adjustment on that. Brings it to a 2v2 here. Sugar 0 and 10 try and find their way back onto C site.
Sugar Zero so quick with it. But Yampy's got himself a rifle. And it is a 1v2, and Sugar Zero's HP is a disaster. And Yampy is just the master of it. Clutches it out and converts the bonus.
Slow start to the first map, but here off to a crazy start. Actually 9-1 leading the charge for Liquid. Again, the composure already, it's way more apparent. It was on Fracture here. Liquid sticking to the game plan. A pretty clumsy approach to B site initially. I think Scream thought he had a dash, but it doesn't end up back to bite them. A few quick rounds, a few fast executes. Actually, it's going to suit them perfectly. See if Zeta want to get weird with it here. See, SMGs across the board here other than Laz on the Sheriff. They might actually commit to holding a little deeper here. Play close contact. Yeah, definitely. The early rounding here from Liquid is much, much better. No, and almost in a position to greet some of this aggression if it does come through.
The early default's fantastic. They're clearing utility well. They're drawing rotations. They're doing everything that you kind of, talk about when you talk about the protocol list. It's looking really good. And we'll see if Zeta can disrupt that. Probably not in this round, of course. This should be a bit of a walkthrough. Scream going to take the first steps towards the site. And we know that it was, I think, Laz, lingering around towards Garage, and the rest of them have made their way through, but obviously Nevera now noting that is going to turn his attention to the flank and keep a little bit of a mind towards Garage, I'm sure, as well. The call will be made. So Scream now going to be in charge of that. Keep control as best they can and see if they can keep this round clean. Again, Zeta don't have a great deal, but a couple of Spectres here and there, so if they can get close, they can be deadly. High Flash comes in, and there's the swing. 10 tries his best, but he doesn't get what he wants. Going to find the pointy end of the stick from Link, and there it is. There's a shutdown. Liquid just holding the line. That's everything you want to see. And Sugar Zero makes a valiant attempt over towards Long, and Nevera's having none of it. Good work from Liquid.
Really, really well handled. And get on and actually stacking up here. They only give Zeta an opportunity to even swing through for some of this, holding very, very close contact. Out from Garage. That's it, heads up there for Nevera. Initially to back away, but Zeta immediately, they don't even entertain this flank control. They try and focus through, make use of these SMGs, but didn't get much done. Hoping for an adjustment here after that timeout in the buy round from Zeta. A little closer to some of these ultimates as well. This could be the turning point for them. Let's see if Liquid now wants to dial up the pressure a little bit.
Well, it certainly could. Looks like they're addressing the control over towards A long, so that's something new added to the protocol list of at least identifying it, addressing it. Because we saw a couple of times they've been testing the waters, an early stack towards C coming out from Zeta, but quick to dismantle it. Hit the rotation back to a more standard hold. It looks like once again this B piece is coming in. Seeker's just sprinkled on top. Tommy doing the best he can, but it's not going to do well. And then it's going to be the Doggo coming out for one side and Soulcast ready with his on the other. So again, Zeta going to be put pretty much instantaneously towards a retake.
Let's see, with everybody stacked out,
they push it.
Liquid are getting aggressive here.
They are. They're going to try and crunch through on towards that connector side on A. And Zeta's time is just being ripped away from them, just rotting the clock. Flashback online for 10. Looking to maybe instigate something, but Yampy is holding them down. Quick little answer back, though. Sugar Zero and Krogan at least break through on one side. Scream going to try and deal with one on the other. That's now 10 gone. Attention turns. Laz delivers! Finds Nevera and puts Scream in a 1v2, but time is starting to tick. He doesn't have to hold this for too long. He gets a great shot, but he can't find the follow-up.
What a round. Particularly from Liquid, I honestly thought as if they had that with Zeta's complete lack of control or even attempt to retake mid. It came so late on. Unfortunately, just a couple of key engagements going their way. Timing here for Laz to find one onto Link. Like I said, he's the only one from Zeta to really address it. I mean, we know how comfortable this B plant and just reset into mid. And they almost can't believe it themselves, I'll be honest. It's when that aggression comes through from Liquid, yes, they don't initially find a kill from that, but it slows down. It forces Zeta to reset in a really uncomfortable position, particularly when you're trying to retake B site.
But I mean, look at the conversion off the back monetarily. You're going to have odds and ends still for Zeta here, and obviously on the other side, Liquid looking lush for it. That's the big game changer, though. The depth still able to get that operator out. Finds Yampi, and that's been the pretty much heavy hitter for Liquid so far, I'd say. And Liquid have to fight for this space back. Sewer is not completely cleared. Long is not completely cleared either. They need to once again build through that list. And it looks like they want to eye up that C site, potentially link over here to at least for now. See that slow creep with the spike as well coming through.
First time really seeing an unanswered first blood here for Zeta. So, again, actually the question pivots more towards Liquid of that recovery mode once again. Laz sitting pretty deep away from his utility, but the smoke coming through on Garage will pull him back towards site.
How much can Laz do, though? Again, yes, the operator did a great deal of early damage, but they weren't quick on these rotations, nor is he obviously in the right place, and the rest is stingers and bits and pieces. But if they do go back towards A, are they overcooking this? Have they overthought it? No, okay. It looks like they've decided that C will be the end goal for now.
I mean, with Yampi falling, Laz can lean on this lockdown a little more.
True.
And with the time ticking away, the late round lockdown, one of the most concerned, actually, is preemptively here.
Buys time for rotation, at least, to
Absolutely.
an extent. Spike will go down. No, it won't. No, it won't. They've got to back away. That is such perfect work. Time bought rotation now in place, and they're surrounded. Bear in mind, we have players lingering in towards middle.
They got safe.
They can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Zeta looking unfazed by this.
I think initially there, where Liquid see that the utilities burn up, I mean, Laz pops his nano swarms. They're almost assuming that rotation's come through, but literally on the back of the lockdown, I even said it, late round lockdown, not even really. The timing's slightly off, I'd argue, but it's the gravity well that pulls.
Yes.
They pull him off the spike there. And Liquid, I mean, that's the sort of
That feels
that
a bit
you
silly.
hate to see.
You feel a bit silly with that,
Yep.
and you're like, we lost to, I guess, an ult and an operator at that point. And just
What
flop,
a weird
right?
round what a weird round to watch.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
comms are weird right now, just very quiet. Spikes in spawn. You're working through some feelings. And now they have to kind of really start trying to figure out what the hold looks over towards A. 'Cause they haven't really had this early fight too much. Neferish found it. How do you do that? Straight up damage right back in. 10. Give it a little boost on the way out as well. Just get out of here. Evacuate the site. It's ours. Liquid. Large and in charge, and the site is there. Smokes go up. No real contest on the way back in now.
So we'll wait for the plant here. The Rolling Thunder set up, and the Cosmic Divide goes through.
Okay, what do they find?
They cancel the plant off here.
10.
10 can't get out.
10's, he's made a bit of a meal of it. And yeah, it's destruction on the other side. A little bit of a fumble on the timing, a little bit of fumble on just getting out of that window. They could not capitalize on the utility invested. And Liquid course correct back to 5-2.
I mean, the best thing to see after that previous fumble is to see Liquid come out confidently, close out this round.
The discipline. Lovely. You can see, I can imagine the Zeta were just a bit more impact, and I think the desk kind of highlighted at the start, seeing depth, now on the Jet. A couple of the other roles kind of being, switched around to an extent. We have to see the depth of Zeta now, out of that comfort zone we know they look very solid in. So it does kind of readdress that point and reaffirm it as something to keep in the forefront of your mind. But we go back into this and we look towards those rifles that are in place. Early contact through middle. It looks like that's something they want to try and figure out themselves here. Oh, Blink. Blink. Easy first blood.
Yeah. Liquid have found so many of them so far. As with the Sheriff in hand, will be spotted out by Yampi. Forced back onto site. Good now. You can see just the adjustment post engagement here, especially with the first blood coming through. Catching with the wide swing. Depth will respond, but quickly traded out, and
good work.
Liquid find everything. Sugar Zero, the last man standing.
The script for Liquid right now is perfect.
Yeah.
They are playing the perfect tune. Everything's looking good. This is what the hell just happened on map 1. Let's just get back on track. We are not messing around anymore. This is just composure at its most. And it's almost not as an exciting, obviously explosive game, but if you're a Liquid fan, this is exactly what the Doctor ordered. They needed a map like this to just get themselves back to where they should be. Just reaffirm some of those worries they were having before, that they were finding none of the early work that they wanted. At least nice sight hits coming through, good defaults at the start, just kind of catching and dealing with everything. And I'm glad you highlighted kind of Nevera's impact over towards that A site as well. The amount he's been able to control kind of going towards sewers. It's very hard to take that space away from him.
The key thing here, I mean, Zeta not really being in a position. These first bloods are coming so early and so far away from Liquid, even leaning towards the site. They can't really make use of what looked so good for them on Fracture. It was these ratty little traps set up,
Yep.
you know, these close contact crossfires. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to achieve, which is why we were almost seeing them over-rotate in every single round here. Again, initially 3 towards C, and now this 4-man stack towards A. Depp posted up with the operator, and again, doesn't even want to entertain a peek towards A lobby.
This could be the correct stack, though. If they do continue to build this way, which does seem highly likely at this point. Flash sent out to middle, gets nothing, so they feel as though maybe they can stick around in this longer. Set piece, how does it look again? Now there's more of an active fight on towards it. Seems to go in at the same time, but Scream's gonna break on through. It's target rich for Scream. Sprays on him, he has no vision, but suddenly he gets the reveal and he sees another, finds it with a frenzy. Sugar Zero gets outdone, Link's there. This is powerful from Liquid. The method to the madness is correct this time. Chemists who have found the formula, correcting the ship from map 1. Now Laz, you've been fantastic, but this is a little too much on the plate potentially. Yes, dealt with. And Liquid just going through the motions. This is good stuff.
And even in a round there where everybody's in the right place at the right time, I think actually 3 members of Zeta eaten up in that fault line.
Yeah.
So not even an opportunity to make use of this stack. Yeah, Scream gets it so quick. Again, the timing on the paranoia is perfect for him. I'm not actually sure, was 10 actually in his Trailblazer there as the hit comes through?
We overwhelmed the shit out.
They kind of need to do this because I think if we are being very realistic about how, you know, the comm sounded on map 1, it was just very deflated, very, you know, flat. I think flat is the main word. It's just... This is a different look, though, for Liquid. This is a big, big wake-up call to them. And a quick reminder that, you know, as I said, yes, they weren't quote-unquote meant to be here. They didn't qualify in the traditional sense. But they're a team that has accolades, that has history to this. History in these sort of matchups to live through the lower bracket at times. And Zeta getting tested on a map that just, I've got to be honest, doesn't look very good for them.
Well, I said it is one that stands out in terms of looking at their defensive performance,
Sure.
particularly on Haven. And I think we're just seeing a complete lack of versatility here. There's no real adjustment in any of these setups that, like I said, you could criticize maybe these over-rotations coming through. They just haven't found anything to kind of lean on, any sort of stability to find here. And Scream, again, trying to open it here for Liquid and see sight on a platter right now.
Up for the taking as the spike makes its way through. So Gas going to find Sugar Zero for free. It's a flash though. We'll try and find him maybe a little bit of damage on the way back in. Yep, 10's done well. Depp finds another. They're still mechanically outstanding, Zeta, but again, the numbers, the weaponry, it's all there for Liquid. Link's out of bullets. So might have to work on that. As already, Depp's going to put him to work. Now the switch up, Link now notices he's got to be down to a pistol. Maybe there's still hope in this. By hook or by crook, Navera is still standing though. Crow tries to swing, Navera says no. And Liquid make it to 8.
The rock in the backline, Navera, even when it just turns into a very Liquid-esque round on site.
Very Liquid-esque.
He's there to bail him out. We'll find their 8th. And now Zeta back on a purchase here, but I'm curious as to what's behind this. Yes, Blade Store available to offset that final round purchase, but you're going to be scraping pennies together. Let's see, is Depp actually going to throw the operator in the mix here?
All set up.
Important isn't just yet.
Teleport ready.
Blade Storm.
That's a little odd considering I think the purchase is going to suffer next round.
I think they just need a round. At this point, if that's what they feel their best opportunities are with that, maybe him being proactive with the Blade Storm, fair enough. Goes for it. Link is all too aware, waiting, lingering in the shadows in the backline. Scream's going to pop it as well. And there it is. Depp's in danger. Has to try and dip out, and he does keep his life for now. But starting to test that deep default we've seen Liquid run.
For the first time, obviously, but it's kind of a solo mission.
Yeah.
No real support system in place there for Depp to even find any sort of value or... Scream actually just charges his way onto B site here, and it's wide open for the taking.
Yeah, Scream's put himself in a great little position. Always on the push through. Yeah, no sweat
Fully
for
blind.
Scream. Oh, he doesn't even see them. Scream is just unleashing fury. Does get found finally, but it's Crow with 10 HP. And it's going to be Liquid just moving forward. This is just quick work, really, isn't it?
Oh, what a polarizing
Last
performance here
round in the half.
from Liquid again. On the brink of actually closing this out. 10-2, like I said, we'll see what the purchase looks like. How it settles for Zeta. This is just ridiculous.
Just, of course, all headshots.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Obviously. My bad. Why wouldn't they be? Just crosshair placement king. 2 to 9. And we do have to start considering split at one point, but we've still got another half to go.
You want to play?
At this
Let's
point,
play.
we get proactive. Zeta going to try and flip the script here, and I kind of like that. We wanted to see them try and challenge his default, see how that works out. It looks like in round 12 they're going to attempt it. Deb did make it past, and has been unnoted thus far. Yes, they had the trade at the start, screaming 10.
I've got your trail.
But well, that's a bit problematic.
Yeah, the Seeker actually going to reveal Dep's push.
Instantly neutralizing it. A little bit of a shame there for him. And now here comes that quickness to the attack again. These A takes have been picture perfect from Liquid. Laz has to just sit back and watch a passenger in this half as Liquid are just turning every screw. Depp can do nothing. His vision finally gets brought back in and actually finds Yampi taking a wander. Now what else can be done? Not much. Nevera and Solgas close down the account. It's 10 to 2 and yeah, it does feel as though Zeta, I've got to say it, have just been a passenger in this half.
They have, like I said, it's just a total lack of versatility. No adjustment really in any of these rounds. Like I said, the only time I've ever seen anybody try to challenge this has been Depp, and it was a solo mission.
Yep.
And Laz doesn't even get a chance to use the judge. Nevera.
It's ambitious. I think we need to be realists about this. We know that Zeta's map pool does not go as deep in those kind of high highs that we've seen on other maps. And I think, rightly put on the desk, though, this is one that they do let through that is certainly not within the comfort zone. And you're seeing just such a contrast to how Liquid approach it.
Absolutely. We'll see here as Zeta can get off to a quick start here in the second half, straight through with the Trailblazer through Garage. So Liquid happy to give this up as well. See, it's not coming through early enough here, but be able to get a clean plant. No pressure coming through just yet for Liquid. Look at them, they're all tucked up, just ready to force their way back onto site.
Still a fair amount of utility as well for Liquid to play with to try and facilitate this push back in. Depth though ready. Spamming away. Liquid finding not a great deal on the way through here. Actually, time is being drawn back. Nice work to temper the pace from Zeta still. You can see the flash in hand, exchange on it. Both now blinded. Depth to find Nevera. Flash goes in again. They re-aggress. They find another pick. This is good from 10. This is still life for them yet. Zeta gonna get the first in the second half. 3 to 10.
Gun here.
The important thing to know, I mean, Josh used the word desperation to kind of rely on it, but I didn't see any of that kind of scrambling to throw something out, see what sticks on defense. Whether or not we're going to see actually Zeta completely flip the script and be more decisive in their attacking half. I mean, this is definitely a good start if that's the perspective that you have. Definitely need a couple more of those to feel a bit more comfortable about this 7-round deficit for Zeta here. Going to be set up with a fault line here through to A lobby. Swing actually comes through. Nevera finds
standing.
The second
still
as well.
standing. He is still standing and still firing on all cylinders. You get past one, you get greeted by another. Soulcast does dip eventually, but early damage has already been achieved.
Pep actually has the Phantom here to make use of. Dash on. He does find one. Yampi will fall. Maybe a moment here to take a breather on site.
I don't know if you can, they're so close yet. They do just about back away. I was waiting to see if Soulcast would dare to try and aggress forward, but no. Has to respect it for now, wait for the support to come into place. Nevera gonna find his way back after such a blistering beginning. Still has to do a lot more though. Scream gonna start closing the net as well.
Scream's very early as well, with no utility to note it. Zeta have to be cautious of it.
Feels shaky. This doesn't feel as controlled as I'd like. Sugar Zero trying to find that difference maker, control it as best he can. Time becoming a factor though. Scream starts his account, and he might just close Zeta's already. The drop down and Scream,
man.
The brothers in arms right now, starting and closing the round, and the defuse to boot. It's 11 for Liquid.
Yeah, Scream just has so much time and space to set up this flank, and I think Link has literally just sat in A-Link, holding a paranoia. Literally for that entire time. The execution is perfect. We talked about setting him up for success. What a great example of that.
Picture perfect.
Let's go!
And you do like to see him getting fired up, right? Like, he is such
I mean,
an
that land
influence on that
experience
side.
starts to shine through.
It does, because again, when we talk about Liquid against, let's say, other opponents, sometimes I question their ability to dig a game back from a deficit, right? That kind of like, you know, whenever you saw, you know, Mech, for example, like, I feel like you could always see them work a game back no matter the odds. A couple other big teams can do the same. I always question that with Liquid, but if he can be the one to kind of keep that morale up, but we go back in, Nevera has to respect that, and yeah, missing the first.
Let's go into this. 2 rifles in the hands of Depp and 10. A Stinger and 2 Sheriffs elsewhere. So what you can get done here. Actually, Scream posted up top inside B. A lot of emphasis towards C and Garage here from Liquid. Nevera actually holding super deep in spawn.
I want to see what Zeta do with this. They've been given a little bit of room to work with, so I do want to see how they approach it. Liquid can extrapolate so much of that early protocol information finding that they could do here, but it's actually going to soulcast. This is interesting. Flash back up in 5 as well if he wants both. He's just holding ground. Spammed out though. What? The commitment. No shot. 10. Are you serious? How? Oh, he's got him as well. Conviction in approach. 10's punished soulcast. I have no idea how he's done it. Read the play so perfectly, but they're still looking like they want to hit up that C site. Split in through Garage, and Yampy has to be careful not to get caught in no man's land. Link, control. The man is precise as ever. 10 though, quick trade out. He is still operating on all cylinders. Scream at the back of the site. The Seekers go in. Nevera has to back away. 10 puts him down. 10 is doing it all for Zeta right now. They are keeping them alive.
I'm still absolutely mind blown by that wallbang. It's the perfect response as well. It's just the one member of Liquid, I think, that plants the seed that they're going to need to rotate here. The timing of the execute onto C, perfect. I'm not sure if they heard a flash come through. I mean, I'm trying to think back of whether or not we noted the Trailblazer or a flash coming through
he invested
somewhere.
early utility, the Trailblazer to go deep. Like, it did eventually push up through sewers, but so much conviction behind that.
Nice, nice, nice.
We're talking about Liquid's ability to find free first bloods. They don't come much more free than that. But absolutely no line of sight at all. Scream straight down. C long here with Paranoia. I see the counter fault line coming through from Crow. Just to try and catch somebody off.
That's a weird buy coming out from Liquid. Look at the state of it. Nevera and Yampy working with far less than ideal. Have to bank a little on Scream in this one. soulcast will link.
Well, 1 kill for Nevera will get the Tour de Force online as well, so it could be a pivot factor for them. Zeta slowing approach once again. I think they're going to be wallbanging that every single round now.
In Nevera, you said it needs one. If he gets one, he becomes such a big threat here. Spots them. He knows his game on now. Can't get what he wants. Has to bend the knee, fall away slightly, look for a new angle to address it potentially. And Zeta are closing the gap fast. No mess in here. They want that space, they want that sight. It's going to be theirs.
Try to set up the fault line here, but not there's going to be anybody follow up just yet. Scream
That's
over the
it.
top with the Blade Storm.
You got to set up Scream because he will make the most of it. Never turns it down when you can see that opportunity beckoning. And Zeta now in that 4v5 post-plant, but bear in mind the weapons are still far from ideal. Depp still outdoes Scream. Laz with the follow-up. Depp on the side looks towards one. He knows there's one in heaven. Spots one as well, working through on the connector. soulcast finding 2 out of nowhere as Depp now starts to break a sweat. And the slow flank. I don't think they know that Sugar Zero could be here. They are none the wiser. And now he has to reveal, but look at the weapon. It's only a stinger! And heartbreaking there as soulcast catches him in the end. Diffuse will come through. And Liquid, 12 now beckoning on the board.
And not a million miles away, 3.9 seconds left on that. If they could buy just a little more time on site, maybe Sugar Zero can make something happen, but...
There he is.
The fault line, Blade Storm over the top. It's old, but it's gold. It finds actually a crucial kill in the retake there for Liquid. And with a scrappy investment, a full force buy actually coming out from them. See where Zeta sit now in terms of their purchase. I mean, the Sheriff, the Blade Storm to offset this a little bit. But no margin for error now. Liquid on map point here to force a third.
You can hear the ults being invested into. Nevera has his now. So C-Long is all his. Keeps that. Depp on the other side, raring to go though. Happy to dive through towards Garage, and it's going to be Link to greet it if he does decide to try and fight for it. Just going to pop in the utility, but Depp's ahead. And the patience begins. Who blinks first?
There's been no pressure towards B yet from Zeta, so Scream still in this kind of weird spot up top. You can argue he should be unchecked here. Whether or not Depp's actually going to make a dash up draft. Bait out some of his shots, but he's actually got Yampi here in support as well. Oh, he will be noted there with that Depp. Would have heard that jump.
But you're right though, it's not just Scream here. He does have support. Yampi just starting to drift slightly further back here. There it is, reveal. Scream's already found 10. Depp couldn't do anything with it. And now left in a little bit of no man's land. You gotta be careful he doesn't overpush this. Last try and take space in the meantime, up by Sewer. And you're gonna see instantly Soulcast comes back around, unafraid. Stands there for the fight, retakes that side space as well. Digs in his heels. Forces Laz back, but in the meantime, now the sport's in, now the cavalry's arrived. Soulcast takes the fight on 13 seconds. It's getting down to the wire, and Scream still standing, still delivering. And now Sugar Zero, the flank that time gets red, but he doesn't get put down just yet. 3 seconds, the clock is his biggest enemy, and it's all but over, 13-4. This isn't just a dream run, that one-off fairy tale. This is the real deal, and it's split to decide. I don't know where to go with this, man, because we've seen some of the best of Zeta on this map.
We have indeed. And the big comparison here is two very different applications of the Astra. But actually, I'm kind of leaning with Josh. I mean, even with the performance versus G2, I still felt really good about Zeta coming out of that.
Yes.
Particularly for me, I mean, it comes back to the same old 10 back on the race here. He was so impactful for them previously. Again, slight composition switch on the side of Liquid as well. But in terms of expectations, we know how Liquid are going to want to play this one.
Yes.
Fairly all in towards B here. You can see the pings coming out.
Rotations are in, though.
Yeah, there's bodies here.
Yeah, Zeta's now got 2 players on the site, 2 towards Heaven. Actually committing towards Hell for Depp here, too. And the slow on the hit. Going to deny easy access in the walls.
That's that same tip-top wall we've seen before.
Yeah. And the cross not going to be ideal because Laz wants to challenge a little bit on this. Going to be toyed with by Scream. Dangerous name to be saying, but they kept their composure. Slipping towards the back of the pillar. They haven't fully given up side control just yet. It's that back and forth. The waning side of control. Nevera with a quick shot though. Catches Laz just a little out too far. Flash comes in, shot and a half. Depp still standing, still delivering. Holds it for 2. And now a 2v2. Both playing together. Nevera and Link though. Having to deal with 10 up towards Heaven. The utility. Oh, shoved on in. Link still alive, 40 HP.
30 seconds left.
And now the quiet before the storm. The spike's still down at the back of the site. They don't have to cook this. Depp's still trying to keep a little bit of space, but look at the creep from Nevera. He's got the timing wrong, apparently. Depp, how did he get that headshot? I do not know. And Link, a fight on 2 fronts, 1 right, 1 left, and the spike not to hand. He has to pick his poison. Falls back away, gets the spike back, does what he can with this. But now the double swing, Zeta get things started right with the first round on the board.
The Zeta play that's so disciplined as well, just completely cutting off any of these opportunities that Liquid had to secure that round. Ultimately, you feel as if they get the opener here with Nevera finding the kill onto Sugar Zero. But Depp, man, just goes huge in the pistol round.
No right to get that shot on Nevera. I thought Nevera had the timing on that. Genuinely, that kind of like readdress of trying to creep, you know, the pillar there looked so good. Not to be at all. Wow, this is such a
what a tense start.
Game. No,
what a tense start to the decider.
I feel like there's such like a characterization of the whole game we're about to see. Just super intense from the word go. Flash confirms as players on the other side, so 10 should be on red alert.
And the spike, I'm not actually going to spot out 10's position close by, and he's here with the judge, so in position to do some real damage here if Nevera swings, and he will find just that. Yampi on the other side as well, going to eat up a couple of shots. Force that Marshall back. We have to find the heal from Scream though.
But I do think for Zeta in this, you have to instantly deny Liquid kind of what we saw on map 2, that like, okay, we've got our protocol list, we can go through the motions as we determine them. And I'm glad to see Zeta already kind of meeting that with fire. This looks like such a different side. You know, that last map, Haven, felt just nothing to me.
Well, we've seen 2 very different early round performances from both teams.
Yes.
And this is one here where I think Zeta actually probably have the edge in that regard. Already here in the early rounds, we're seeing some positives. try and deal with this wall in mid.
And Laz, it rolls my mind back to the game we saw him being such a high priority to be dealt with in that room and how well he kept fighting back, still holding it.
G2, yeah.
It was unbelievable. You can see the resilience in the side. This round shouldn't be much to write home about considering you know the purchase, but they're still trying to do what they can. They're down to 23 seconds on it. So any damage is good. Not as clean, I'm sure, as Crow would have liked, but it gets the job done. Soulcast down. And a couple more on the back of it working up as well. Laz, oh, he just turned around. Now, this actually could be the downfall of him. He turns back to check. You don't get the better of him. Yampy doing Yampy things, but it's 2 for Zeta.
3 will survive, so a decent opportunity here at the bonus round for Zeta. We'll see what Depp and Crow decide to settle on. Sheriffs are plenty.
Okay.
Should be able to ride this out. Again, Yampy just finding the definition of constellations. 2 headshots there to close things out. Again, with how this has gone, Liquid not really, I mean, other than Yampy, 2 off the Rolling Thunder. Soulcast really we look towards in terms of the showstopper. If they can close this out, they'll be a million miles away from it. Scream actually going to bring a Guardian into this round here. Looking like early intention towards B here, and actually Zeta might even come out.
That didn't catch
Did it
either.
catch? No.
Absolutely not. It looked like they wanted to swing on that. You can see Scream sitting anti-flash for a second or two there just in case there was another double dip on it, but they don't have the information now. Just off the back of that one flash, you can already see the rotations elsewhere. They've kind of drawn them away. Sugar Zero, well, feeling real lonely right now and has company that he didn't really want. Soulcast quick to take him out. Depp is already here though and does get the trade pretty quickly. Don't challenge one by one. Depp's too good, and Laz with the support. Gonna find him regardless, and suddenly this is looking like a disaster. Scream and Link. And look at 10. He spotted them both. He's just gonna buy time. Yeah, paint shell, catch. Have a little go on that one. Oh, I've got a judge. You wanna hit a rotation? Not here.
Actually gonna wall up. No way. Does he expect it on top? He should see him.
He's still fighting him. What on earth is going on?
Oh, it's looking fumbly here from Liquid already early on. Zeta actually convert the round 3. Adept again. Look at him, just put him in a corner. He has no options here, but still delivers. And actually the snake bite to bail him out as well, finding this final bit of damage onto Nevera.
That's a tilter for me. If I'm Liquid, I'm tilted. I'm getting frustrated.
Because they got so deep onto B site as well.
They were like wrapped on pillar. Like Soulcast was super deep on that. Like, yeah, him getting traded isn't the worst thing in the world for me either. It's just that the follow-up, the peaks were just giving Depp a little too much. Exactly. Okay, back to the drawing board a little here for Liquid, and it's like, hey, welcome back to Zeta, the team that has caused problems for so many others. It is exactly that. It's so different. And Depp already going to find Link. Cuts him off from the rest. No chance even to come back for a trade. Wall goes up. Mid's no longer yours.
There's just so much to slow down any mid progress. Again, it's the cycling of smokes, it's the poison orb, it's the snake bite, then it's the Sage util. And actually, I'm fearful that any of these rounds, actually, if Liquid try and challenge it, Scream will find an open on Sugar Zero towards B. Spike comes through. Laz actually still up in heaven as well, though.
Okay. I was a little worried that cross could get caught, 'cause you're right. Laz was still kind of not actively over-peaking, but was kind of having a little bit of a glance towards it. And Nevera's late lurk towards middle could be something to talk about here once that wall drops. However, for now, we have to focus on towards heaven, CT. Main Choke will force Scream away now. Gives away a little bit of the game here. 10 now seems hyper aware of the chance of that lurk, but they have to start addressing the site. And that's how they plan to do it. Send that on in. Doesn't find what it wants, but Depp does. Gonna do well enough with the reds as well. Gonna get Crow back on the feet, leaving Nevera and Yampy standing. There's that late lurk from Nevera. And he's gonna ring a couple more bells. Can't do it, Crow. Keeps control to stand, and the round will go to Zeta. That's 4 now. The
awareness is fantastic from Zeta. Nevera unnoted throughout most of that round, so you can see actually somebody still holding as that wall drops. Yes, he finds a kill, but at that point, Zeta have shifted their focus towards site, and exactly what I was talking about. There's so much for Liquid to deal with in mid. Like I said, the concern comes from actually with a real lack of focus initially here towards mid. They're cutting off a massive opportunity for splitting both sides.
I just my mind instantly goes to that G2 game, right?
Yeah.
It's like how hard Nuki had to work to take that mid space, constantly having to fight for it, trying to instantly get Lazio in a really uncomfortable spot. It was high priority for a reason. I think we're seeing a little bit more of that this time around. But again, he wasn't always alone. That depth is still up towards Heaven as well. Pops the wall down when feeling that it needed. But Liquid need to actually kind of commit almost further to it if they really want to garner that mid control, because it looks high priority for Zeta. They are not giving that for free at all.
I think you're right, actually. This is almost an adjustment from Zeta to put a couple more bits of defense up in mid here, and Liquid is just they're just sat here spamming into a smoke. And no progress whatsoever, and a deeper wall this time around. The first time that Zeta feels some pressure, the wall comes much deeper. I feel like Zeta win out in terms of the utility trade-off there in mid.
Yeah, 50 seconds left, and you're right, what does Liquid really have left in the tank? Because Zeta didn't commit massive amounts in my mind, but they've got 3 players actually on that B site itself. Gonna send a flash in towards main, didn't find anyone, but they're gonna know the pressure's coming in from Heaven at the very least. 35 seconds now, Liquid need to make this hit count, and they've got to make it pretty soon. Depth's under a little bit of pressure here, stays unnoted for now, does get shoulder checked by Scream. Soulcast finds him, Soulcast then doubles down, perfect. Sugar Zero still lingering on the side though, 24 seconds. Don't forget he is here. The smoke drops, Scream, great work. This is what they needed, and that's finally Liquid really looking mechanical in approach.
And that methodical clearance through, again, just waiting out. Like I said, after I felt they'd almost lost out in terms of the utility investment there in mid. Also, a little bit of a fumble with the wall as well, one being stuck behind it, but Soulcast able to blast back up, and good for 2 on the entry as well. Really, really nice clearance there from Liquid.
I've got my ult.
Soulcast, I mean, you heard it there, got the showstopper online now. Yampi's the only ultimate lacking here from Liquid, we know invested in the previous. Interested to see if we see any sort of adjustment here from Zeta. No real pressure towards A just yet, so again, lots of space to work with elsewhere on the map. Some of that lack of pressure from Nevera, but yeah, just on flank control duty. Viper's Pit invested towards B here, so it's actually going to force Liquid towards that mid setup once again. But no Snakebite to double down on the poison orb this time.
And again, we've seen these kind of later round hits because Zeta put up such a problematic hold towards a lot of the extremities, towards that middle side of things. The Liquid have to spend a lot of time doing this. So it does mean you end up down towards those late round hits. But again, half this map is really inaccessible towards them.
The Seekers tell a big story here as well. Everything coming towards bottom mid, so they know that there's no pressure outside 8.
Yep.
Can leave 10 on that island.
Kind of cheating Crow over a little early. I like that. Soulcast slowed down. Gives them time to back away. Should be
seconds left.
really hard to make this work for Soulcast. He's just going to send it in. Oh dear.
I know
Dep,
exactly.
I don't think you know how lucky you might be, but now he's going to be forced to fight. He finds 1, 2. Dep, unbelievable 3. Not going to get 4 because Soulcast leaps in with the judge. He has to go further. 10 seconds. He's trying to chase him down. Denied by Crow as Yampi a 1v2, but time is his biggest enemy. They're just going to toy with him, play with him, make it inaccessible. 2 more seconds. The clock will define it as the time is ripped away. It's 5-1.
It was excruciating to watch the showstopper there, because you can see exactly, I mean, the cog's turning. He's isolating all these angles. It's just a split second behind finding that. And it's, of course, the one player that should have died from the showstopper, Dep, that actually then turns this round around. They find Laz as well, so they completely rip the Viper's Pit away. Like I said, Dep, after not being found with the showstopper, finds 3 kills, Lauren.
Such impactful work.
I mean, he's having a map here. 11 and 4 for Zeta here. It's just, what do they do? Liquid again have just, yes, they've created this pressure in mid, but Zeta adjust accordingly. And this is
so
without
good
the benefit of Laz. Like I said, the Viper's Pit towards B.
So impressive. And 5-1's, it's not a problem yet, but it's one of those that can trend towards it, right? You're starting to think, all right, guys, we're starting, this scoreline's looking one-sided.
I would counter that, because this feels like Fracture, where they had nothing tangible to work from. From these round losses, you don't come away from thinking, right, guys, actually, that's where we need to focus.
Yeah.
I don't feel as if Liquid are coming away from this with a list of objectives.
No, the lesson plan's missing. I think you're right. It's very hard to extrapolate much from this. But look who it is. 10.
short of map 1 or judging map 3?
It's nasty. Hey, look, it's
Actually,
against
so I
someone
know
like
it's Sugar
Yam.
Zero, but
True.
it's,
But it's like you've had Yampy, you've had Link. Like they, you know, you made this a thing. Sometimes what you put out in the world comes back. 10 says hello. That's 1. You can see the hesitation on Navera. Suddenly not loving it. Does deal with him really well. Rez comes in. We saw how isolated he was. He was on his own here, so the rotations will be quite far away. Liquid should have full site control.
So no ultimates available on the way back in here, but Scream actually swings ahead of the Cosmic Divide here. Yampy good for 2 down below as well. Depp will respond. Actually, the Rez comes through as well. Wide out in the open here, and Liquid will punish it. Find their second as well.
Finding a gap there. Liquid finally exploring that A site. We haven't really seen much of that.
Well, actually, it's unknown territory, Torin. They've been there, once before. Navera's been punished, I think, by 10 previously as well. Again, good to clear that out. Whether or not this will actually pull somebody from Zeta to maybe now focus a bit more to supporting 10, we'll have to wait and see. And if Liquid can actually exploit that.
Exactly. This then changes the dynamic of that middle control, because you can't, you know, keep cheating the players over early on those rotations. You can't have as much faith in the read because they might re-explore this now. That's a possibility, right? So it's how do you then take that space back? You can now see the flashes coming through as well. Yeah, okay, Navera's probably here. We know that by now. But a quicker pace from Liquid. They're eyeing up that B site fast. Just a little bit of confirmation over that A site presence, and they are just all on in on B straight away. Soulcast not holding back for a second. He wants the space, he's going to take it. Now, it is only odds and ends on the other side. It's pistols, so it's not going to be a huge defensive line to be greeting them with. And Soulcast going to make light work of it with Scream by his side. It's comfortable, it's good work, and it's exactly what they need right now to bring the scoreline back to a better placement.
10 last one left. Whether I mean, really damage not going to matter an awful lot when we see the economy of Liquid. They bring it within 2 rounds of the Prime Gaming flawless. Did spot, yeah, 10 does have a showstopper online now. Cosmic Divide available as well for Zeta. Like I said that previous, at least no adjustment there. Same sort of thing in terms of early round protocols for Zeta. The flash comes through, obviously expecting Navera there, and really amounted to too much, but Liquid, like you said, a little bit of a pace change. Looked pretty comfortable for them here.
I feel as though they needed a good anti-eco like that as well, though. Just something to keep them trucking along, get that scoreline being closed in as best they can, because we know that Zeta can cause that danger.
We actually do see an adjustment here, which is 10 coming across towards B. Now, I mean, with Liquid leaning away from mid with all these kind of deterrents in terms of utility, having him there to, let's say, at least combo the paint shell from this B main push, but we're actually seeing Depp rotate over towards A. Liquid again, a pause for thought early on. Lots invested towards Lads now. We'll force him back.
Yeah, and they want through fast. Now, do you want to see the difference of 10 potentially holding this? Yeah. How it looks, if it does change the dynamic at all? Again, they're still working their way through by Mailroom. They're still taking their time here. No subtlety to this. So eyes go towards 10 and Crow. No quick rotation either. It's still a ways off. Laz can work his way through, but by now it's 10. This is who we have to look at. He spots one on the cross, doesn't send it, doesn't quite find what he wants either. Soulcast still stands, but it's Crow to capitalize. Punishes one, but the trade comes in. Yampy gonna deliver. And now Crow on the back line of sight. Can he do much more? Spots out Navera, spots out one more. Still finds Yampy. It's scrappy, but it's a 3v2. Liquid hold the numbers for now, and they need to keep building off this. Sugar Zero playing out from heaven, but the spike in the hands of Scream. Oh, what a shot from Scream. Time to find it. And now Depp overwhelmed. Liquid, keep composure.
Looking a lot more comfortable here for Liquid. Going through the modes again. Similar execute we saw in the previous round with that Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
Again, 10, just unfortunately, I mean, yes, the showstopper gets popped. It's going to slow down that Heaven push, but posting around, I don't think finds enough damage. I mean, Soulcast is dealt with pretty quickly by Crow anyway, but unfortunately, he's not able to close the distance and really post that into Heaven. Liquid have got to be sweating.
So right for Liquid, and
they're going to switch it up now. Yeah, on the light buy, they're going to again attempt. I think this is kind of an attempt at conditioning, just making sure that Zeta still pay due respect to A site.
It's the right call as well. Yes, there are 2 players, of course, on the side itself, but again, this is absolutely the right read. If it can determine that sort of concept. However, they are being slowed down on this approach. It's not as clean as Liquid would have liked, potentially.
Certainly not free.
No, the rotations have come in as well. They might have to dismantle that slightly and fall away from it. Yeah, and Liquid have been held off for now.
Have to re-explore elsewhere in the map as Yampy and Link already quick to this rotation. Zeta now are going to be thinking, yeah, there's no follow through here. But everybody committed, whether they're expecting the re-hit. B-site's going to be wide open for them.
You can never expect a double pump, you know? You can't bank on it. That's not how it works. But you can see now, yeah, the penny's dropped. They're aware it's going to be that B-site.
Fire in the hole!
Actually going to lead with the ult, Soulcast. Wanted to really make sure this is kept safe, so have to be sure to not stack up too much towards CT or Heaven. Oh, Soulcast. He's having a bit of a nightmare with it himself, isn't he? Makes a meal of it, but it's fine. Flag's coming in, but again, this is Sheriffs. And there's not really much to be played with. I guess a bit of lucky timing could work out for 10 here if he checks. He does. That's a rifle now to be picked up. Now, is there anywhere else that could find a vulnerability? Soulcast. That's shaky. Oh, he's gone down. Laz has found him at Scream and Navera. Keeping things. What? Oh, I was going to say safe. There's no safety here. Sugar Zero. Full. Unleashing Fury. Sprays in. He got attacked. Oh, there's no bullets left to play with.
By the skin of their teeth, Navera delivers for Liquid. Ties things up.
He's a safety net man. Like, no. This round just screams anxiety to me. As soon as that kill comes in, that's a rifle recovered, and then this starting to chip away at them. The gap closer from Sugar Zero.
What is that from Sugar Zero?
Oh, just the follow-up shots, man. They're unreal.
There's a moment here as well. You can see, again,
Yeah.
the spy cam completely saves Navera. Actually, the tag comes through down to 67 HP through the box as well.
That was a real shot at that. But it's 5-5 and resilience shown by Liquid. Finest of margins in these sort of games. It's all it comes down to. Is this going to be a clear, concise approach from Liquid, and Crow's in a dangerous spot, but actually makes the most of it. How did he stay alive? I guess finest of margins. As already down to 3, Liquid looking to try and just keep it simple, but it's not working out as well. They know that they're close, but they don't know how close. Again, Crow still holds the line. Thought that was instantly going to be a trade, not to be. Link, last one standing and not for long. Zeta, right players, right place, and the round's theirs.
Finally out to the back here, and feels like a much more comfortable as Liquid. They do rely on a pretty fast execute on the B site. See what they have available here, actually coming into the last round. Rez, the Neural Theft, Link 2 off the Cosmic Divide, the others a little further afield. Laz does have that Viper spin. I previously saw that invested over towards B main. We'll see if we see a carbon copy of the setup here. Well, no, actually it's going to be popped here in mid to kind of slow things down and make sure this utility is available elsewhere.
Without a star, I cannot.
Not invested off the rip.
No. Interesting to see where he goes for it now. Double stack. What is this adjustment? No wall either. This is very interesting. Okay, late. Potentially slow goes in. Depth keeping the cards close enough to the chest. And Yampy makes his appearance. I think he might have noted Laz there, so this could be the adjustment already. See what Liquid does with this information now.
Poison orb emitted.
Liquid are almost hesitating. It looks as if they want to lean back towards B, but they don't want to completely give up mid in terms of allowing a push to come through. But now with the wall going up.
I like the delay of this utility invested actually coming out from Zeta. That's quite nice. This will give them a little bit more time, but now they need to read it correctly. Were they thinking this could be an A? It's not. It's going to be down once again to Crow to be the anchor on this site. Try and hold this safe. Depth forced to fight now, has to fall forward. Boombot comes in and 4 players for Liquid are on the side. The divide comes out as well. Soulcast targets Laz, and Soulcast, they're fighting this! Liquid swing the pillar, get 3 for it. 10 does what he can, but it looks like it's too little too late as Sugar Zero already down to 50 HP. Dealt with Soulcast. Gonna keep this all even on the half.
That's crazy. You can see just, I mean, the pressure really getting to Zeta now. Laz so hesitant to invest that ultimate off the rip, but I think they're waiting for a really, really transparent indicator here from Liquid, and they just don't get it.
No. Wow. Okay, this is the type of game, the type of half that just missed already a perfect first half to the final map here. But, as Tom said, in my mind as well, Zeta are no slouches on this attacking side, so Liquid have to be really on the mark here.
Absolutely, and Josh was talking about swing factors. I mean, 10's another one for me. Really, he has to shine here on the attack for Zeta. It's looking like initially, a 4-man lean towards B main here. Actually, Link going to be spotted by the Trailblazer.
Link's so
See,
good
the
normally
paint
at
shot
this.
doing loads of damage actually to Link.
Yeah, he's still alive though. Vic just gets overwhelmed. Too many to handle. Soulcast tries to keep composed. Can't make it happen. 10 just unleashing with the frenzy. 3v2 numbers advantage to Zeta here. Spike in hand as well. Nevera tries to fill the gap. Gets punished. Try to get a little bit of a timing on it, not to be a Nyampi. Yes, he's predicting the flank. He needed that clean. Not going to have it. First round in the second half goes to Zeta.
One thing I've definitely got my eye on here, I mean, Liquid, just a nice little stat comparison here. Their retake success percentage sits around 33. And actually, Zeta on the other side are fantastic at converting post plants. A 75% success ratio for them. So this is where I'm looking for Zeta to really, really step up here to see how it pans out. I mean, pistol round on the board. Great start for them here. We'll see how Liquid decide to approach this. Sheriff's again looking pretty much like a Liquid save round.
Yep.
As always, Yampi, Marshall in hand, Sheriffs across the board elsewhere.
Okay. Let's see what you get with it, right? A couple of tags can make all the difference here. And a lot of players here very early for Liquid. You've got 3 players dedicated and 1 towards the bottom side of rope, so this is not without resilience, and Scream shows it. It's precise. And again, the rotation's on the way. This could be dangerous for Zeta. This could be a really bad time for them. Nevera going to connect well towards Step. Crow does find another. You have to look towards the site. Soulcast caught a glimpse of one. Punishes on the trade out. Laz is going to hear this though. He's trying to play it just right. He knows there's another as well. He's going to hear that rope play from Yampi. He's dealt with. And the round gets across the line. I don't want to say cleanly.
Messy though, yeah.
At all, yeah. The rotations were right for Liquid. I love that approach from them. They were in the right place, right time.
They concede 3. Let's see how the purchase sits for Zeta here, but as we know, Liquid going to come back into, well, I said, going to come back into sort of fall by a scream on a judge. A bulldog for Link.
Yeah, but tell me the Zeta don't have plans for these sort of rounds. How many times do we see them do this sort of stuff? I have to see Liquid just get a grip on this game fast.
It's looking like they're going to play a pretty fast hit once again onto A's side. There's 3 members of Liquid here to hold down the 4. And the Snakebite setting in 2 spots on side just to force. Well, actually, 1 misses.
And I think for me, just seeing Liquid being in the right place, hitting these rotations correctly, is such a key indicator that they're so prepared for this as well. Again, the rotations are here already, but they look like they adjust course, try to make the most of it. Quick trade out, Sugar Zero going to break through towards Scream. They lose 10, sure, but the site's looking vulnerable. This then puts it all in the hands of Link, who's going to try and probably slip in towards B main, potentially try and hold a little bit of that side space, as the rest are on the way, but they should be able to get at least a spike towards the side, unless Link takes an early fight, and he does! Slips away into the night after just garnering that little bit of impact. It's huge. But Sugar Zero, do they expect this? I don't think they do.
He's let one pass.
He let Yampi through, but it seems it didn't get called. Yampi finds Step. He tries to turn around. Sugar Zero says no. Crow with the catch. Oh, the catch towards Nevera. And now the 2v2. They noted where Link was earlier, but he's adjusted around already. They're both playing on the backside of Pillar. 1 flash to hand. That's it. They ain't getting another one back up, so it's got to be good. Catching one with a flash. Sugar Zero waiting patiently. They're trying to go on an exploration mission. They have to try and clear this, but the timing, Sugar Zero just going to dip away towards CT slightly, gets a little bit of safety. Oh no, Crow even finds Soulcast, and now they fight together. Link presented the unthinkable. It was his site to control and his to try and keep in check, and it's fallen to pieces. 1 bullet ain't going to do it, and Zeta do the damage.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, initially the 1 comes through onto 10, and you think, yeah, they're going to catch the timing here. Scream does a little bit of damage with that judge, but he's so quickly removed there. They have the benefit of all this space and rotation.
This is becoming real. This round right here has now put probably double digits right on the board. Yeah. Right? You've got to say it, because the buy coming back in from Liquid's going to be a disaster. So that's probably 10-6 the way you're looking at it, and it's exactly why Liquid have this timeout.
Well, definitely so, as you see. Liquid look as if they're going to sit pretty deep with these judges. Sheriffs to kind of buff out this purchase. Because Zeta stacked up as 5 outside B this time. Whether or not Link's going to go exploring. He's had a little bit of space to work with, but he will be noted immediately here. That's going to pull Soulcast away from 8. He doesn't feel anything in mid either, so
Okay, I like quick rotations though. Scream is chomping at the bit as well. Actually gonna take the space off the back of the smoke that comes in. That's really nice. And he's gonna get a chance at this. Delivers one. He can't find more. I thought that was teed up perfectly. How is Laz alive? Barely breathing, but still standing. A quick heal comes out. Crow gonna pause for a second. It does give another chance for Liquid though to keep trying to turn these screws, but the divide is up.
Give them an opportunity to find this plant safely. The Boombot gonna do damage, but
Oh, Seeker's right back.
respond here, and actually Zeta perfectly comfortable in this reset.
There.
And where's that burst gonna come from? There's so much firepower still standing though. Yeah, Scream's down. Don't worry, Soulcast has been having a really good map so far. You got Nevera, Yampi. Still potential on this one, but Zeta digging their heels. There it is. Soulcast gonna find the first quick trade though. Crow perfect with it. Spray in. Nice. Takes the angle, takes the advantage, and takes the kill, leaving Soulcast in the dreaded position of a 1v3. Just a Sheriff by his side, and damage would be lovely, but he's not gonna get it. It's 10 found for Zeta as they close in on what could be their map win now.
Wow. I mean, it all comes down to this for me. Liquid need to stop Zeta now. It's almost
Stop the rot, man.
beyond the point of doing damage to this economy. Zeta have built up such a cushion now. And 10 actually on the showstopper now. What about Sugar Zero, man? He just plays around his smokes perfectly. We saw it so apparent in map 1 as well. How many problems he caused. The great hold there from backside for him. See what the approach is. Liquid again with a similar setup. 3 towards 8.
Yep.
Ampi, Soulcast, and Nevera. Scream towards mid and Link. Solo anchor towards B site.
Oh, the pace from 10. There ain't no stopping. He wants that instantly. Heaven's his. Scream on the other side, gonna draw out the utility from Liquid. You want to fight it back this time. 10 sends it. Does he find it? He does! Soulcast just gobbles that up. No shot! And now they're down to 4 so early on. This is still above a minute.
Now they have the res. Whether or not Zeta are going to hang around here to try and police it. Haven't really got anything to punish it just yet, but Scream is very apprehensive.
Okay.
Zeta are giving them the space to allow it.
But they've got a good reader. You can hear this utility on where that's just happened. If they wanted to explore A, it wouldn't even be a bad shout. But again, Zeta now have 48 seconds to try and work out what they want. It looks like they're still going to go back at this. Now Scream this time is going to be just dedicated towards Heaven. But it looks like Ropes is on the board as well. They're not sure just yet. It looks like Ropes is being found here. No one stopped them just yet. Flash comes in now. If you're Liquid, you're worried because you have to pull these players back. The loss of Soulcast so early is going to be an issue. 2 tucked towards CT, 25 seconds now. Where do they go? Scream tries to thread the needle. He gets one, but a quick trade out. Crow all too aware, and they instantly turn. They're trying to pivot this super quick back towards B, but there's still players present. This isn't going to be super easy. Soulcast back on his feet, sure. He has to hold the line. He's got players by his side. He's not alone, but Link goes down. No! Sugar Zero! He found Soulcast, and the site's wide open. Nevera now has to somehow get 3 players, and the wall gets put up in his face. He has to do something about this, but he's tagged down to 4 HP, and Zeta are running rings around Liquid.
Got to hold on to this rifle now. Zeta's just able to find these pressure points in this round and completely manipulate Liquid. I mean, you could almost argue with the benefit of having Soulcast, almost an unexpected extra body towards B. But they can't hold on to it. Zeta will find their 11th. And Liquid now struggling for answers, to be honest with you. Same setup once again. Zeta don't even lean into it. What's left in the tank for Liquid here? We've seen no attempt to even be proactive here on the defensive side, but with how fragile the economy, even put up a fight. 3 sheriffs to judge. Nevera obviously clinging to that rifle from the previous round, but they have to stop him here. They have to. Backs against the wall. Zeta on map and series point. And Liquid just no room for error after that. And look at the economy as well for Zeta. That's the other thing.
It's well.
5-round deficit, and they're sitting pretty.
Oh, yeah. Don't have to worry about that bank for a while.
Zeta's just going to allow this pressure to build, a slow approach here in round 18.
So intense.
First time we've seen the adjustment, actually, from Liquid, so...
Okay. I mean, A has been pretty much left to its own devices. A couple of occasions they've gone
Two
there, but
fast hits at the start, right? That was it.
and it feels like maybe some reactive looks that way, but it's only if Liquid have kind of given them the opportunity, whereas Zeta have been going through the motions, but I wonder. We say that, and of course now look what's happening.
Liquid.
Doing this right back at them.
Yeah, look as if they've got a decent understanding. Is Nevera and Link going to make their way across? Yampy going to be posted up with that judge still in mail, but see how far Zeta can get in here. Sockers, actually another miss on the showstopper.
It's an absolute screamer from him. And Laz is just going to power through him now. Down to 3. Nevera's still got a rifle though, so don't think it's over just yet. And they don't have full sight control. 25 seconds. Zeta need to make this work in Yampy. He waits. The ice-cold Finn dips away. He doesn't fancy all the way trying to sell, but look at the time. He's buying time, and he's denying approaches, funneling them in towards Nevera, who's going to find one. Can't make too much more than the second on towards Laz. He falls, but so does Yampy. Dives down, and now a 1v1. 7 seconds. Crow. Nerves of steel to go for this plant. And on the other side, 3 bullets, Link! He keeps them alive in this.
They cling to life once again.
Thrifty.
We'll find the defuse here, the thrifty round win to find Liquid 7th. Could this be the turning of the tides here for them? What a crazy round. Again, it's so anxious here for Zeta on the way in. Yampy actually almost finds the second, but...
Yeah.
Nice! Nice. That was the most important round of our life.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
Rightfully so by
Yes.
Scream there. The most important. Can they build off that now? Nothing left in the tank. I mean, Link with 3,400 behind this, but nothing left in the finances here.
There was ever a time for them to find that little spark, that kick back into the game. It had to be that round, and they found it in the form of Link. They found it in what they needed to. They're funneling them towards Nevera and just manipulating them from the start to the end of the round. And Zeta, I'm sure the nerves are just starting to mount, the realization you're this close. It always those final couple of rounds that seem so impossible. But it's not. The money still is with them. They're able to fashion a full purchase. They're still to really vie for that mid-control.
Zeta happy to sit behind it. Spike not committed anywhere just yet, so actively looking for this opening engagement. We could revert back to this 3-man hold on A site, which hasn't really been pressured again in the buy rounds, at least where we have seen this. Scream actually forced out of heaven as well, so lots of space opened up here by Zeta. It's actually going to pull the rotation. Nevera, got to be on red alert now.
Come through. 10, not finding the entry he wanted. Nade's going to be quite nice. That pain shot's not going to be bad at all, but look at this presence as well. There's still one towards the side that is unnoted. So much more for Zeta to clear, so much more for them to do on the priority list. I think they just saw Yampy at pillar, and 10's not having as clean of a start. He looks nervous, he looks anxious, and Nevera is unmoving, unblinking. Depth though dives down, and that's absolutely perfect for Zeta, still keeping 3 alive against the last 2, Scream and Link.
Gonna have the
Where
res
are
as
they?
well.
Spike planted.
You're right. And there it is now, 4 targets. Scream has to stand tall to that reputation he's garnered. He has to be the man of the moment, and he can't do it. Crow finds him, and Link left all alone once again. And 12 beckoning for Zeta. It's there for them. 12 on the board now, 1 round away from making history.
Gone here. Match point.
And again, they have the advantage here. As soon as those Seekers come out, Liquid are already
at the buy.
preemptively rotating, but again, just leaving Soulcast so deep here that there isn't anything to bail him out. When this pressure comes through, he's overwhelmed.
Nice! Nice!
What a beautiful round from Zeta. Could that be the nail in the coffin? I mean, look at the purchase here. Look at the purchase.
There's nothing to it. It's 1 rifle on Link. Deep breaths. This could be history in the making. Team Liquid. Right place, though. This is the right time. Flash comes in. Nevera gonna see this. Doesn't see all of it, but they're going to try and crunch on this one. Isolate one, but there's more behind it. Nevera delivers. So does Soulcast. They're digging deep here. Team Liquid don't want to go out just yet. They are fighting with everything they have, and they leave 3 of Zeta still alive.
Finally making use of that triple setup towards A.
Right there.
If Sugar Zero can find anything towards Link on B site here.
Man with the rifle.
I don't think they actually recovered either of the rifles outside A.
No, they dipped real quick. Now Link needs to play this perfectly as well, as does Scream. They cannot allow pressure to overwhelm them, the trades to be too effective. Yampi's actually going to take that spot back away, and actually Link's going to be able to maybe play from a little bit of a safer spot, maybe less of a one and done. And now Sugar Zero closing the gap. He gets one. The spray's gorgeous. It's perfect from Sugar Zero. And there's a reality now that is presented that not many thought would happen, as Nevera and Soulcast have it all on the plate. And the dreams becoming a reality, all in that man's hands. Sugar Zero, 4 kills, and Soulcast has to face the music. A 1v3. And the divide about to reveal all that anxiety, the terror that's in place. He finds one, he waits for the swing. Nothing comes, but the time is dwindling, and as is his HP, he has to face the fact that Sugar Zero